Good morning and welcome to Nofo Live. I am Tracy Kessler and we will be joined by my co-host, Sunita Narma, and our other co-host, Kelly, today from Kelly's Weekend Plans, Kelly Siry. And we have a special show for you today. We join every Friday at 9 a.m. to talk about all things North Fork. And today we have a special show because our very own co-host, Sunita Narma, is going to be joining today as Nofo Style. And she has a lot of exciting things to tell you about. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see, two people. I'm not usually the host. Okay. Who do we have? Is anybody here? Hi, Kelly.
Good morning. How are you? Good.
Hi.
What's going on?
Now,
You're a little low. I'm just going to try and adjust this. There we go.
All right. So now
off.
how do we do this? So I mistakenly hit yes for Penny. Penny, you're on live.
Yay! Thank God I'm dressed.
Thank God, right?
You could
Penny
like
just wanted to express her excitement for having Sunita on the show.
I'm gonna heckle her, but I'll be nice.
Oh my goodness.
I said, no, this isn't going to turn into the roast.
Okay,
No,
so
I know.
you could like shut me off. I'm fine. Do you know how to do
I don't know
that?
how to shut you off. I think you have to just leave and then come back.
Good morning. Surprise,
Surprise, we have your number one fan on.
Wait, I'm number 3.
Penny, she didn't say number one friend. She said number one fan.
Oh, that's very true. That's very true.
All right, I'm number one friend. You're number one fan.
Okay. I wouldn't start the show by declaring that anyone is my number one friend, because if you know me in real life, I have a long list.
She does.
Yes, you do.
She does.
She's
all right,
not
I'm gonna say goodbye
favorites
so
until
you
the
can
end.
be all serious and be show like bye.
Okay, bye, Penny.
Please.
Well, this is what you get when Tracy starts the show. Sunita gave me a warning last night that I better start it on time, and I did, and then I let everybody in. So there you go.
I was cracking up because the last time you started the show, you said, I'm Sunita, and I was Tracy, like you messed up your own name, and I was like, okay.
I mean, it's Friday morning at 9 o'clock. What can you expect?
Listen, I got a kid off to school, and I took a shower. I am like miles ahead of most Fridays. So
And
my kids are off from school today.
So for my Indian and non-Indian peeps out there, happy Diwali.
Yes.
And I hosted a Diwali dinner at my house last night. So I have dishes in the sink. I've got like leftovers. So don't talk to me about Friday morning. I had a wild night.
Well,
how was it?
Let's talk to you about Nofo Style. Okay. So you're on today in a different capacity. Normally you are logged on as Nofo Live, and today you're logging on as Nofo Style because you have started a relatively new adventure here on the North Fork. So why don't you tell us all about it?
Yeah. So I lived in New Jersey, as everybody knows, for a very long time. Had a career many, many years ago, gave it up to stay home and raise the kids, which I love doing. But I feel like you and like Kelly, I kind of have the entrepreneurial brain / spirit. So it's always churning in my mind of what do I want to do in my life? You know, like just be creative, be productive, not so much climb a career corporate ladder, but do something that excites you. And ever since I moved to the North Fork, and even before I moved here, because we've had this place now for 17 years, and now I've learned the term serial weekenders. Mm-hmm. That's what we were. And slowly but surely, the North Fork charm just seeps into you, you know? And because I'm so lucky to live on the Sound, I catch a sunset every day. I feel like my life now revolves around a sunset. There's just so much peace and serenity. So as much as I have this crazy entrepreneurial spirit, I also want to temper it with a life that will still let me end up at the sunset every night. So I've been trying to figure out what do I want to do.
And the best life.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, on paper it sounds like a good concept, but can you really do that, right? Because when you really start talking about a business, then a business really needs to be a business. Like either you just say it's a hobby and you're doing it as a hobby, right? There's nothing wrong with hobby. But because I want to do it as a business, then trying to find the balance. And I know, Tracy, you of all people can talk more about the constant struggle to find a balance. So I did launch this new business earlier this summer, and I'm so excited. And the way it came about is we started the show by talking about how I have a lot of friends. I really genuinely do. If you know me in real life, that's a very important part of my life. And I have this really good friend of mine who is a very creative designer. I don't want to say designer because she's super, super creative in every aspect. And for years, maybe like 7 years, we've been talking about, I've been trying to encourage her to let out her creativity and do something, whether it's paint, whether it's whatever. And 7 years later, here we are. So she is helping me design the bags. And I'm saying helping, but it sounds like actually I'm really helping her. You know, she's deciding, I'm helping. And so after 7 years of brewing, here we are. So we are creating these custom designed bags that we are designing with my idea of living the simple North Fork life. So all of the bags are designed to sort of fit into your North Fork life and beyond, obviously. So that's how it came about.
And tell us about where the bags are made and how they're made and like all of that.
Lots of ideas brewing, but this is where we're starting. My friend, her name is Mine. Hi, Mine. I don't know if she's watching. She just came back from Turkey. She is from Turkey. She lives in New Jersey. And every time she goes back to Turkey, she is drawn towards a lot of these older women that have to have not been able to have a career because they similarly had to stay home and raise kids, and trying to find a source of income for them. So we're supporting women there that are talented crochet artists. So we design the bags, show them that, you know, what we want made, and then they make it for us. But we do have plans to make them in India. We do have plans to make them here. But again, tempering back to what we really want to do, small batch. We're not making 100 bags. It's probably 5, maybe 10 bags of each style, because one of the problems with being a creative is our minds just keep going crazy and we keep making this design and that design and that design. And I'm not kidding, we probably have 100 different designs that we've made. And the challenge becomes, okay, what fits? You know, what do you resonate towards and what do we want to fit? So for now, they are being made in Turkey, supporting a cooperative of women that we're trying to help and create beautiful bags at the same time.
I love it.
Amazing.
So I know, and Kelly knows that you have certain names for all of your bags. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, it wasn't planned, right? But again, I end up living my life in what makes sense to me. And when I first did the pop-up, the very first pop-up, I actually had a test pop-up last year when it wasn't even yet a business. And Lori from White Flower Farmhouse was so generous. And I didn't even post or tell anybody, imagine that, like not sharing with anybody, me, and just had a pop-up on the street, right? Because the idea was we really wanted to get feedback from people that have no idea what this is about. But that morning I posted in stories, and of course my friends, Penny, #1 fan, came, and Stacy, and several other people, or other people who were on the street. And Penny came, and the first bag that she bought, she loved. She was like, oh, this is gorgeous. And so then the next time I was talking to Mina and I was talking about which bag, I was like, you know, the Penny bag, you know, the bag that Penny bought, and then the bag that Robin bought. And then eventually it was like, wait a minute. So depending on what I see of my friend in the bag, that bag then becomes named after them. So it just kind of grew organically from the Penny bag. Which,
Well, I know this.
Which I do have the Penny bag here in case anybody wants to see what the Penny bag looks like. That's the Penny bag.
Wondering when the samples were going to come out. I was waiting for that part.
Well, the Kelly bag is sitting right there.
I
Great.
wanted to
Show
go
us.
get my bag, but I realized I put away all my summer stuff. And I was like, shoot, I can't even bring it to this show.
I mean,
Show us
we're
the
living
Kelly
in winter,
bag.
so for me, summer is endless on the North Fork.
Oh,
Kelly,
there we go. There we go.
Throwback.
The Kelly bag is navy blue,
yes,
of course.
I have it right here. So now that's another thing, right? So sometimes when I make a bag, first now I'm starting to think who the bag belongs to, right? But then sometimes my friends will message me and go, how come I don't have a bag? And then I'm like, okay, what do you like? So this bag, I don't know, I'm sure Kelly, you remember, I was deciding if it belongs in the Nofo style collection or not. Because like I said, we make so many designs, single sample. And Kelly, you messaged me and said, that's the Kelly bag. And it was
that,
like,
I love that bag. That needs to be part of the collection.
Exactly.
Well, and this story of my bag, Sunita had actually presented a Tracy bag to me that was more of like a clutch. And I said, first of all,
It was the old version.
Heard this story,
This
and it is very
This
Tracy.
is the old version.
I was like, I love that you think that that's still my life. But I don't go anywhere without an extra pair of underwear for my child, snacks for my child, a water
Baby
bottle for
wipes.
each of us, baby wipes. And I was like, I need a giant bag. And now that is the Tracy bag.
Yes.
So the Tracy bag,
Apropos.
you're gonna get the most kick out of this, right, Tracy? The Tracy bag, my original idea was a wine and cheese basket.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we live in the North Fork. There's a lot of vineyards, and I was like, "Oh, how cool! Maybe some of the vineyards might carry the bags." I have the audacity to dream that. So we made a pocket in there that holds a wine bottle, and you could. I mean, that was the idea. But then after it got made, as soon as the sample arrived, I just started carrying it as a pocketbook.
Yeah.
And then I showed it to you, and you looked at that wine pocket and said, "Ooh, diapers can go in here."
Well, now that we're out of diapers, it's a perfect water bottle spot. Too.
I throw my phone in there. Whatever. Like it's one easy, But again, it's large enough that you can put towels, you can go to the beach, and you can still make it a wine and cheese basket if that's what you want to make.
I often use it with my yoga mats, actually, when I need to do yoga. Yeah, which doesn't happen as often as I would like, but when I do, it's a perfect.
Yeah, but it's turned into an everyday tote bag. Like it's And now I'm thinking, do I even need a wine and cheese bag? What I do need, and I'm going to make, I've made 2 versions, but they haven't been resonating with me so much, is just a wine bag. Something just to carry the wine bottle. In any bottle, really. But, still working on that. Ideas are constantly brewing.
And to that point, where do you see the direction of the line going, or your brand, or what does the expansion look like?
It looks like it ends up at the sunset.
You're like, and then you just end there.
5:30 p.m., 4:30 p.m. It ends up somebody sitting, enjoying a peaceful evening, watching the sunset, and there's a bag next to them, and it has whatever in them that it needs. If it's a book, then it's a book. If it's a yoga mat, then it's a yoga mat. If it's a picnic.
I'm trying to get the inside scoop. I want to know where you're going next.
There's no mystery. There's no secret. I'm going, but I'm also staying where I want it to be. Really, I constantly keep focusing on, we're always chasing the next thing and the next and the next. And, my husband's been in the corporate world for so many years and he just retired. So our entire life is focused around, yes, we want to keep doing things, but I want to do things that serve my life and allow me to live the life that I want rather than them take over, I am expanding into beach cover-ups. So there are,
This is what I wanted to know.
And you have some pretty amazing cover-ups, so I'm excited to see.
So I do have a few, what I'm calling samples, because they're individual. I do have 2 or 3 pieces of each, because again, we make so many and browse and ponder and wear and then go, okay, this is going to be part of the collection. Or sometimes it's a 5-second decision, like the Tracy bag. The day it came, I only got 1. Immediately I called and I said, make 10 more. Like, I don't even need to wait, like make 10 more right now, and they just arrived. So I'm excited. I am having a pop-up list.
In terms of like your style, because I feel like you have a very distinct style and you're a very chic woman, and you sometimes blend some of your, you don't think you're chic? I think you're chic.
This hair that's down.
It's like this beautiful natural chic. I love
Yes,
that. I couldn't do that even if I tried.
Natural.
When
natural.
you think
I don't know about
of
chic.
Sunita, you think of like neutral colored linen.
Yeah.
That's Sunita.
This is the 2024 Sunita.
Yeah.
If you knew the 2000 Sunita in New Jersey, every wall in my house was painted either yellow. My kitchen was orange. My clothing was always colorful. You know how you like my Trina Turk cover-ups?
Yeah.
That was my entire wardrobe. I used to be extra colorful and loud.
Was it a Jersey thing or just a phase? What was that?
No, that's what I was for the first 50 years of my life.
Okay.
And I think the North Fork has brought...
She watched a lot of sunsets. Yeah. And then she just...
Yeah, and I can see how well that's serving me in my personal life. So I know it sounds like I'm going on and on about it, but I really want to hold on to that peace and serenity and simplification of life. And I don't really want to end up someplace I don't want to be.
I think that's so important, because the fact that you've found that in itself is really important. I mean, I know as you said, I am always chasing that. I can't seem to find it. It's a goal, but
Yeah,
you
but
know, and I've come
I'm
to,
10 years ahead of you in
well,
age
yeah,
too. So then
right.
I did my part. I mean, if you knew me, I always joke this. I lived in New Jersey for 26 years. I have 3 boys. They're all men now. They're grown. They're off my payroll. They're living their lives. But if you saw me 12 years ago, I was doing homework in lunch boxes.
Yeah.
You know, like I wasn't sitting at the sunset with a glass of wine or a glass of water or whatever. I was living a very different life. And I feel like there's different chapters in your life. And so this is my North Fork chapter of my life. And it's beautiful. And going back to my friends and my friendship, yes, I wanted to be entrepreneurial. Yes, I wanted to do something. So I did the Nofo Life Show, which I love. And it's enough, right? But then I also love my friend Nina. I love all my friends, but I'm talking about this one specifically right now. And I really wanted her to allow her creative side out. And it took 7 years of my nudging and her getting ready for it. Now she's ready. So now her creativity is flowing out, and I feel like I'm playing my little part in sort of helping her creativity continue. So I'm not saying I'm doing the business for her, but I'm saying that's how it started. But I still want to remember, yes, I want to do it with and for her, but I also need it to work for me. And I'm looking forward to her growing way beyond Nofo style because her talent is limitless. Her brand is going to be called Tarla, which means a field in whatever you put so in there grows. I mean, it's such a beautiful name to begin with. So she is designing handbags that are more her style, that are not necessarily, you know, Nofo style, but they're Tarla style. And she has Tarla Baby and Tarla Home. Like, it's all in here yet, you know? And she's creating. So I'm also helping her figure out where that is going. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And I need to keep reminding myself I need to end up at the sunset, which is 5:30, and then next week it'll be 4:30.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I was sweating buckets at Halloween last night
Yes.
because I was like running from house to house with Tilly. I couldn't believe how hot it was. It was so hot out last night.
So hot. Yeah.
I know.
Like I said, I had a dinner party. We had to open the doors to the living room just to let the air in from the deck. But I mean, I'm happy about it because I like warmer weather, but I'm also in the back of my mind concerned that the tech, and I remember, and I don't know how it was in Long Island, but maybe 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago, at Halloween, we started having massive snowstorms. Remember, like when winter came so early, we had a lot of cold weather those years, and now it's warm weathers, and I'm just like,
I mean,
something doesn't
even
feel
last
right.
year was kind of cold. I remember wearing a coat, right?
Yeah.
Yes, last year was cold.
Yeah.
I know.
Craziness.
Well, so Sunita, tell us where people can get your bags or how they can. Obviously, you said they're limited edition each time. So how do they get a bag?
So I am slowly but surely populating the website. I do have a website. It's nofo-style.com because believe it or not, somebody has Nofo Style reserved as a .com. So I'm just, if it's you and you're watching, release it so I can have it. So I am putting stuff on the website. I do have Nofo Style as the Instagram, and I do post there. And there are a couple of boutiques that carry some of the bags, which I'm very excited about. Rika in Greenport carries a few of the bags.
Hey.
Not all, a couple of styles. A boutique in Shelter Island called Pure Thread carries a couple of my bags. And most recently, Veme Studios is carrying a few of, they're not bags, they are part of the, you'll have to go see. They're tiny little decor items, and they will be hopefully carrying some of the cover-ups this summer because, as you know, Verona has been sewing these gorgeous jackets and beautiful clothing. And so we started talking, and maybe in spring and summer they'll be carrying. But website, Instagram, and I'm doing infrequent pop-ups. I just had one and really almost, I want to say impromptu, at the Halyard. When they had the James Lane Post Festival, which was such a fun weekend, Kelly. Props to the team there. And I'm having one next Wednesday with my friend Stacy, who owns the most gorgeous bed and breakfast in town called the Harvest Inn. And my friend Mina is also going to come, so you can meet both of us. And it's basically going to be like a trunk show. We're going to take over the bottom of the inn and set it up like a boutique. And we'll have rosé and we'll
That's
have
so
nibbles.
fun.
And is that
What
like,
date is that?
do you have to be invited to that, or can you just show up? What's the deal with that?
You can just show up. I mean, I was trying to do it in ride only, but I mean, parking is a little bit of an issue, but there's plenty of street parking. So you can't, pull into the inn and park there. But yes, it is an open sip and shop. Stacy, who's also a chef, is going to make some beautiful nibbles for everybody to just pick on. And we're going to serve some rosé. And you can, and again, it is a shopping experience, but really, if you know me, it is a party. So just come, browse. There's no pressure that if you show up, you absolutely have to buy. I welcome feedback. You can come take a look and be like, maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that.
So now,
let's have fun.
Sunita, I think what's on the top of everybody's mind with Thanksgiving coming and then the holidays, is this your first like holiday shopping pop-up, or what can we expect for holiday for this year from you?
So it is the first and only.
Okay.
And so I'm going to be bringing what are the what is already identified as part of the Nofo Life collection. I don't even know. Did I say Nofo Life? The
did.
Nofo style.
You did.
And it seems we have to say collection, but I don't know what else to say about
No, I like that. That fits.
Yeah, these bags I will make more of, right? But as I mentioned, I have a lot of single samples, and some of them are shimmery and holiday, which I didn't think necessarily went in the Nofo style collection. But surprisingly, I got a lot of feedback when I did the pop-up at Halyard, and a lot of the holiday ones were more popular. And maybe it's because, so I will be bringing several
in that realm.
I'll be bringing several of those, but those for now are individual single bags. So I guess a sample sale, but they're not used samples.
Well,
they're just something.
I wouldn't say sample. I would say one of a kind.
Okay. Thank you. See, this is why I need people to come and give me, because I'm very low key and casual. So I don't have the
Limited
marketing.
edition, one of a kind.
Yeah.
I'm going to hire you to do my marketing, Kelly, because I'm terrible at sales. And I don't want to get better at it. So
I'm terrible at sales too, but I think that just sounds
okay. One of a kind. Thank you. I'll make a note. One of a kind.
I love that.
All right,
So that's
I'm
on
now
Wednesday.
wanting a shimmery bag. I don't know about you, Tracy.
I know that sounds great. Actually, maybe I could use a clutch for like New Year's.
I have a gorgeous
clutch.
metallic blue, Kelly.
I have what, Sunita?
I have a gorgeous metallic blue that might call your name.
Ooh.
But just have
check it out.
one, so you got to be there early. Or I'll post in stories. I'll post it in stories, and if it's your thing,
want it,
I'm gonna post
you better
the metallic blue in stories. That's what I'm gonna do.
So, Sunita, this is next Wednesday, November 6th, right?
Correct. At the Harvest Inn in Peconic.
At what time?
4 to 7.
4 to 7. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Lovely.
And it's just show up.
Yeah.
You don't need to RSVP or anything. You just show up.
Stacy doesn't know how to make. Yesterday she was here for the dinner, and we were joking that neither her or I know how to make things in small batches. Like the only way we know to make. So, I mean,
which
when
is so funny.
People come or 50 people come, like I said, parking is a little bit of an issue because of at the inn, and again, on one hand, I'm hoping because it's midweek. And the inn is very busy. She is so great that every weekend they really are busy. So I'm slightly concerned for her if people start booking rooms Wednesday, because then she needs the parking up front for them, right? Because she has 5 rooms and so 5 parking spots. But there's plenty of street parking. It's across from Pindar, if you know where that area is, close to the Greenport Brewery. So if you have to walk, if there's 100 people, you might have to walk from the brewery. But
100 people.
I was like,
wow, really shooting
100.
Put it out there.
All right, so Sunita, this is very exciting. I have a curl that's going wild. This is very exciting because you don't normally get to answer these questions.
Wait,
so we're gonna do
that?
Oh yes! What, are you kidding?
Yeah, that's what
we're going to do the Nofo Live 5. Okay. So, if you were going to take Kelly and I out to lunch or dinner, where would you take us?
Okay, I wish I'd thought about it. So I'm going to go totally impromptu. I'm going to say 2 things. I can't say enough praises about Latin Fusion and Southhold. It is my to-go. I don't want to say hidden gem because obviously I hope everybody knows about it. But if we were doing a casual takeout on my deck, I would run there, pick it up, and we would eat on my deck. The second answer I'm going to give.
Hero. Latin Fusion, definitely.
Yeah, they really
like it.
The second answer I would say is the new ramen place that opened in Riverhead. And the reason I'm picking them is because they actually have a vegan ramen. which is
Ah.
so unheard of and rare because the broth is always pork and beef and whatever. So, and if you know my life story, I can't eat meat anymore. So I'm really happy that they have a vegan ramen, and it was kind of decent. So
Wow.
that's where we'll
All
go.
right. I
Nice.
haven't tried either of those two new places in Riverhead, so I need to go.
What was the other one?
There's a,
Oh,
I
the
believe there's like a
poke bowl. The
poke
poke bowl.
bowl
Yeah, I
place.
haven't tried that yet.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, Kelly, do you remember the questions? Do you
I,
want me to ask them
I
all?
do.
Okay. So
What
you go
is your
next.
go-to farm stand when you're popping by a farm stand?
So most of the farm stands that I end up at don't have a name. I mean, they're on little side streets. I love, love, love people who just grow in their backyard and then put stuff out. There's something about it that really calls my name. So there's this Greek lady on the street that I go to, and I know she's Greek because she has a Greek flag. There's this other lady, I don't know who she is, but she has cheesecake pumpkins and pumpkins.
Ooh.
So I'm going to give a shout out to every person who's a gardener and grows their own, raises their own chickens, puts just a container out with eggs. All the no-name farm stands are my favorite.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so we all know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Are you a sunrise or a sunset person, and do you have a favorite spot?
Obviously sunset, because I keep talking about that. And every single corner on the sound is gorgeous, but I have to give thanks and so much gratitude in my heart for being able to walk down the steps from my own home and see it in my backyard. So that is my favorite place to see a sunset.
It's quite a beautiful spot.
And if you are friends with me in real life, you do know that my door is always open to walk down with me.
Literally. It is always open.
Yes. Well, not the door to the house, people don't, but Tracy knows what she's talking about.
And are you a winery? Have I ever seen you at a brewery? Yeah, I've seen you at a brewery. Are you a winery or a brewery person?
I'm a mocktail person. And yes, I mean, I do drink a little bit of wine. I never drank in my teenage years, so I never really developed the taste for it, right? So what I started with was really sweet drinks, and then there were cocktails, which are fine, and I do drink them and I do enjoy them. But I'm a very, very lightweight drinker, so when I go out, I prefer to get a mocktail so that I feel like I'm having the same fun. And lately, I've been turned on into a virgin version of the martini because I realized that I love olives and I love the brine. So I was researching, and if you put the brine in it, it's called the dirty martini. But if you put a lot of the brine, it's called filthy martini. So what I like is filthy water. I literally walk around with a martini glass with a lot of brine with water and olives.
I
And I'm
do filthy seltzer, and it feels special because it's got bubbles.
Maybe I need to get on this boat.
Yeah.
well, my friend Stacy turned me onto it a little bit because she alternates like a water and olive between her drinks, and I'm like, okay, I like that, but I just put so much brine in it, it really is filthy.
Yes. I like it. My sister will order it, and she'll say, "So filthy, it's green."
Oh my God.
I would use that line. I didn't know that. So, okay. But I will say, not all brines are created equal. I've tried the brine from some of the pickles or some of the olives, and some are good and some are not. So I really need to find some olives that I love the brine.
I'm sure there's somewhere that markets just that for like your.
I tried a brand and I didn't like it. So but there are so many different brands. I think it's easiest to just pour it out of the liquid that you already like. So if anybody has, good olive brine, send it my way when you're going to toss it out anyway.
Yeah. All right. So we obviously know that you are a large part of the North Fork community because you're a co-host of Nofo Live and you've got Nofo Style. But tell us why you love being a part of the community.
I mean, I guess I would say community, even though that's the word that's in the question. I really do feel that there is something magical about the connections and about people here being more authentic, if that makes sense. I think you can have more one-on-one real conversations about life and the simplicity of the life. Like I joke that once I get chicken and bees, then the assimilation will be complete because it really is an assimilation into this beautiful, peaceful way of life, which is part of the reason why I'm on the board of Slow Food East End, because I resonate with the people and the life they're choosing to live. Like Penny, she was on here before she lives in permaculture. Everything she eats, if you are invited to her house for dinner, 90% of the stuff on the table is stuff that she grew.
Amazing.
So first she grew it, then she cooked it, then you eat it, and it's like, what more do you need?
Yeah.
In the pandemic, when the shelves were all empty everywhere, I don't know if you remember, like people were panicking. I remember taking a walk in the neighborhood and the fields were just starting to sow and come alive. And I had so much peace come over me going, we're going to be okay. We can grow our own food. Everything's going to be okay. And I think that's what I love about the North Fork, is it just feels like everything feels right and everything's going to be okay.
Well, we love having you be a part of the North Fork community, and I'm very excited about your new adventure and your new line. So good luck at your collection, your trunk show next week. I'm sorry I can't be there. I'll be traveling for work, but I know many of your friends, all of them, will be showing up to support
Thank you.
All of your fans.
Yes. Yes.
And don't be ranking them.
Yeah, we won't. Kelly, thank you so much for co-hosting today. It's always so wonderful to see your face on here, and you're welcome to join us anytime.
Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, girls.
Thanks, everyone.
This
Happy
was
weekend.
a very different and unique experience.
Happy weekend.
Bye. See you next week. Bye.